I can still recall the weight of that silence on the other end of the phone after I finally spoke. It was heavier than years of buried truths. "Mom," I said, evenly measured, "the picture-perfect family you keep parading? It doesn't exist anymore. Not for me." I heard the hitch in her breath. In my mind, I could see her in the kitchen, hand gripping her pearls, rehearsed responses crumbling before she could even use them. For once, she wasn't the one in control. 8 months before that call, I had already slipped away. I stuffed my life into 2 suitcases and vanished. No teary farewells, no big announcement, no dramatic fight. I just left, like smoke fading into air. And the strangest part? Nobody noticed. Not a phone call. Not a knock at my door. My absence didn't matter until they needed me to complete their portrait of perfection. All my life I'd played the role assigned to me. The quiet, dependable sibling. The one who covered cracks, swallowed secrets, carried pain. Meanwhile, my sister, Mom's shining star, was adored, rewarded, praised for simply existing. I was the spare piece no one remembered until something broke. But years of invisibility finally gave me power. I chose to be unseen, on my own terms. The wedding invitation didn't even come on paper. Mom called instead. Her tone wasn't warm, it was rehearsed, sharp, already coated in the polish of damage control. "They're expecting us to look like a perfect family," she said. "Your sister deserves that." It wasn't a request. It was an order. I let the silence stretch, let her feel the gap she had created. Then I answered with a single word that had been building inside me for years. No. That word wasn't born in that moment. It had been waiting. I remembered my 16th birthday, when no one showed up because they were too busy celebrating my sister's college acceptance. Even my father forgot. When I wept quietly in the bathroom, they called me dramatic. I remembered Christmas, when she opened a box of diamond earrings while I pulled a second-hand sweater from thin wrapping paper. "Be grateful," Mom had said coldly. I remembered Dad's voice, low and final. "You'll never measure up to her. Don't humiliate us." And I remembered the day months before when it hit me. They hadn't even realized I was gone. That was my proof of where I stood. Disposable. So I turned their blindness into my weapon. When Mom demanded my attendance, she expected obedience. But I had been preparing for this moment. "No," she repeated, brittle, grasping. "If you don't show up, you'll regret it. People will talk." That was when I delivered the sharpest cut. "I don't care what people say. And if they ask why I'm not there, tell them the truth. Tell them you only ever loved one child." The silence that followed was exquisite. But here's what she never knew. My escape had already been set in motion. I'd built a new life 3 states away. New job, new apartment, new friends. I'd blocked their numbers, erased traces of myself, cut every tie. That call only reached me because I allowed it. One unblocked line, my gift of closure. I knew my absence would do more damage than my presence ever could. Without me, their perfect tableau would fracture. People would whisper. Mom's carefully constructed empire of appearances would start to collapse. And I wouldn't even have to raise my voice. My revenge would be absence. My weapon. Silence. Later, my cousin messaged me in fury. The wedding had been chaos. Everyone kept asking where you were. Your mom was humiliated. I nearly laughed. For once, they couldn't script me into their play. For once, I was the one pulling the strings. I never confronted my sister. She played her part, but she wasn't the architect. I didn't need to watch her stumble. It was enough to see my parents cornered by the consequences of their own neglect. When Mom called again, her voice was small, cracked in a way I had never heard. "Why are you doing this to us?" she whispered. "Honestly," I told her, "I'm not doing anything to you. I just stopped letting you use me." That night, I won. Not with rage or spectacle, but with restraint. My revenge wasn't fire, it was ice. Cold. Measured. Absolute. Looking back, I don't feel guilt. I feel clarity. They had spent my whole life convincing me I was invisible. But they were wrong. I had been watching, listening, waiting. And when I finally moved, it was precise. So no, I don't regret missing the wedding. If anything, I regret not walking away sooner. And the best part. That flawless family portrait they wanted will always have a blank space where I should have been. A frozen reminder of the child they lost long before I ever chose to disappear.